Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of White Sox and BS, where we BS you with all things White Sox. I'm Harry, your favorite host, with your favorite co-host along to my right. I want to say left, but it's my right. JJ3, say hi, JJ3.
What's good? What's good? You already know JJ3 back in the building. My main man, Harry, what's good with you, bruh? Been out for a little minute.
My bad. I've been at the strip club for 3 weeks. Someone took me to a strip club in Tijuana. Things got nasty. I'm just getting back home. My fingers smell like the ocean. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, Tijuana strip clubs are great. I love it. I absolutely love it. Everybody, thanks for joining us in another episode. We today are gonna we got plenty of places to talk about with the White Sox, because of course the White Sox are so exciting to talk about. Half sarcasm. We're going to start with all the people that are playing from the Crochet trade. We finally got another Montgomery in the lineup playing right now. And it's not Colston, it's Braden Montgomery. Is he related to Colston? I don't know, but we're going to have to find out soon if they're related.
It looked like he mixed, so his mama probably white, so you never know.
He do. What do you think Colston mama was doing like 18, 20, 21 years ago?
No comment. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about what
Whatever.
random white lady was doing 20 years ago.
Okay, I'm just saying, because if we get a second, because if we get the brothers both killing, we gonna call them the Bash Brothers, because we need all these bats that we can to help Vargas, Colston, and our new superstar, our Otani Jr., great value Otani in Murakami. So, let's talk about it. So Crochet got traded, and we finally see the full set of all the people that got that got traded for I think it was Kyle Teal, Mydroth, and Montgomery are officially in. And I'm sure there's more, but those are the big names that matter.
There was one more player, Wilkerson Gonzalez or something like that, whose name I probably just completely butchered.
Probably. Yeah,
he's a pitcher, but Chase Mydroth, Kyle Teal, who's currently rehabbing down in Charlotte at the moment. We still waiting on his returns, as he got hurt in the World Baseball Classic, and unfortunately,
this is crazy. He's still out from
that calf strain kept him down for a while, and then after the calf strain, where it looked like he was coming back, he tweaked his knee in the batter's box and been out again ever since. So, and now he's not even ready for live hitting yet. I think he's still hitting off a tee. So they really working their way slowly with Kyle Teal before they're ready to bring him up. But yeah, Chase Mydroth, Kyle Teal, and tonight Braden Montgomery makes his debut for the White Sox.
Right.
And he's been down in the minors tearing it up. That's why he's here now.
Something about White Sox and Montgomerys I just love. Listen, if you're in high school and your last name is Montgomery, get ready to be a White Sox. We're coming for you. Pause. Hey, yo, continue.
But no, I mean, he's been hitting, 315 in the minors this entire time in between AA and AAA. He played at both levels this year. I think like I said, about 315, 10 homers across both of those levels this year, 13 doubles, about 3 triples. The average is right around, 315, on base 354. Slugging percentage was something obnoxious, around 490, 500, somewhere in that range, with an OPS of like 927 or something like that. I mean, just pretty damn good numbers, outright gaudy numbers for a kid who rocketed up through the levels of the White Sox minor league system at a pretty fast pace. And again, I'm old enough to remember sitting here saying that the White Sox do a poor job at developing positional players. That's been a mantra for quite some time. That's followed the White Sox for years and years and years, where they just have not done a good job developing positional players. And lo and behold, this season, it seems as though the White Sox are turning the corner on that, right? Jacob Gonzalez, Chase Mydroth, Sam Antonacci, Braden Montgomery tonight. We're seeing, I don't want to call it a renaissance, because that's a strong word, but we're definitely seeing a sea change and a shift in terms of the narrative of the White Sox being poor at developing positional players. And we might also need to, maybe put a little bit of respect on Chris Getz's name for the trades that he made.
Not ready to go that far yet, because I do feel like Venables has way more to do with it, but I'm not mad at that take.
Well, I definitely believe that Will Venable is, in some of these games, he's managing his ass off.
Absolutely.
There's games out there where he's changing the entire infield out. He's swapping DH, swapping first, second base, third base, and literally you look out there from the seventh to the eighth inning, and you got an entirely new infield, guys playing different positions.
And everybody hot at their bats from Cuero, Peter.
And the bats are getting the job done, like out of nowhere. Here's Tristan Peters with a home run, right? Here's Drew Romo with a home run. Here's, Edgar Carroll with a clutch hit, like out of nowhere. So, yeah, definitely got to give Will Venable some credit to your point. But again, as I was saying, these guys are coming through the system, and so far they're getting the job done, and that has to be recognized. And to a degree, that also has to be recognized for Chris Getz, who some people will probably argue is manager of the year consideration or candidate when we roll down towards the end of the season eventually. But yeah, what are your other thoughts in terms of that trade or some of those names that I mentioned? Because again, these are all guys that we got for Crochet. You definitely were against the Garrett Crochet trade, along
Still
with
am.
many other White Sox fans, right? Still are. And I didn't disagree with you on the trade, right? I mean, you had an ace pitcher, an elite arm, top tier, number one on your staff, on almost any staff, unless it's Mizorowski. Like, you know what I'm saying? Garrett Crochet is pretty much going to walk in the door and arguably be your ace, right? Unless it's him, maybe Screwball. Crochet is going to be right there in terms of ace pitcher on your staff if he's in your building. And the White Sox flipped him, and they got back guys that are helping them win games this year now. We're starting to see it.
My thoughts are, so far, just to be more realistic and slow everything down, the guys that we have now aren't doing anything yet from that Crochet trade, but they are starting. They're looking solid. If there is a star in that bunch, it is Montgomery, because so far so good. But end of the day, Colson, Montgomery, Murakami, and Vargas, who was a throwaway from the Dodgers, apparently every time Dodgers throw away a player, he becomes a star on another team, so far are the biggest reason of the change. Now, if these trade pieces that we got from Crochet trade pan out, that makes us look even better. Now we're about to be stacked, especially if I don't know if Mydroth has it in him to just all of a sudden elevate to be all-star offense, but his defense is pretty darn good. And then Montgomery, I haven't seen enough of him, but the potential is he can literally be another Colson Montgomery. So if he does pan out that way, I still am not mad at the trade. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm still not okay with the trade per se, but I'm not as mad as I was before, especially if Montgomery turns into a 30 home run, 90 RB, 80 to 100 RBI guy. Then I'm like, oh, you know what? We got an everyday player that can hit 30 home runs a year. I'm not mad. And mind you, we still have Austin Hayes, who's been on the deal since forever. We still got Teal, who's still been injured since forever. So we have a lot of guys that can hit that are still injured that haven't even played yet. And we're already testing out the rookie. So imagine Murakami comes back, Hayes comes back, both Montgomerys come back and pan out. Then you still got Benintendi. We have a very deep order in the lineup. Now, it's gonna suck to go through 2 to 6th in the batting order versus the Sox, because there's a lot of guys that can get high contact and home runs in that 2 through 6 if we ever become fully healthy, which we're hoping that's what happens end of the season, because we still have not had a full healthy roster the entire year for starters. I thought Austin Hayes was going to be what Vargas is, so now that Vargas is panning out and Austin Hayes is technically our left fielder, I don't know when he's coming back, but we get healthy, those guys pan out, we're definitely making playoffs. My only issue is the pitching, but at the same time, I think we could have got most of those guys and still kept Crochet, because it's not none of them Crochet deal except Montgomery and Mydroth that are playing. Take away Montgomery and Mydroth and keep Crochet, I think we're still in the same position as far as hitting, because we still end up getting Murakami, who's a free agent. We still end up getting Vargas, he was a free agent. Montgomery was already on the
Vargas was a
team.
trade.
I thought he was a free agent. I know we got him from the dot. Who do we trade for Vargas?
Vargas, I believe, was in the Lance Lynn trade several years back. They threw
Gotcha. So,
Vargas in there because,
so,
again,
so
like you said, the Dodgers
right,
always have a deep system. They always got a plethora of talent to choose from. They
right.
said, we don't have a place for this Vargas kid. You can have him. And the White Sox took him, and here he is now producing results.
So we still get Vargas without the Crochet trade. We still get Hayes without the Crochet trade, because I'm pretty sure Hayes was a free agent from the Reds, and Hayes has always been a solid journeyman. I think he's only had one season of 30 home runs. The other seasons, 25, 26, 25. He doesn't stay in a place long. That's the only downside. about Hayes. And then with us, he just happens to get injured for a large chunk of the season, which sucks. But yeah, you get a healthy Sox. I'm willing to give Braden and Mydroth a chance. Mydroth is a great leadoff hitter, in my opinion. He's one of him and Annucci are two best leadoff contact guys. They can get on base, but out.
Oh,
But
Chicago
no,
mugs can't pronounce a name for nothing, man. I tell
not a
you,
thing. Not a thing.
nothing. You couldn't have pronounced that name worse if you tried.
In Tananachi, let's just call him An. Let's just call him Nachi.
But you
Let's
know,
just call him
I'm not finna waste my time correcting you on Italian sounding names,
no, no. I'm gonna say it
but
a
yeah,
different way. One of them's gonna stick.
my drop is good. Let's say it's one of the things that you got to give credit to Will Venable for is that he'll flip the lineup and who's leading off to start the game based on who the opposing pitcher is in terms of whether it's a right hander or a left hander.
Facts.
So Antonacci will be in there against the right-handers, and then Mydroff will be in there leading off the game against the left-hander. I don't think that you're getting in terms of the talent and depth in the lineup that's currently being projected without that trade. You're going to have to go a completely different route. Your farm system's talent won't be as deep. And so the White Sox have called up 12 guys to this roster at this point.
But from the
And
Crochet trade, it's just that what they were
between
playing now. It's just
between
Teal,
those two
Mydroth, and
trades,
Montgomery, right?
between those two trades and, you know, other acquisitions, like the White Sox have called up 12 guys from the minors just this year alone. That's something that hasn't really happened, that we haven't really seen from this team in years past. And a lot of these guys are producing right now. So in terms of the depth of your lineup and the talent and what that lineup is going to be projected to do going forward, that doesn't happen without the Garrett Crochet trade. There's no way. Even though you may have Vargas and even though you may have Colson Montgomery
We
and
still have Murakami.
Murakami, yeah, you're not gonna have those other names. You're not gonna have Kyle Teal. You're not gonna have Chase Mydroff, and of course Montgomery, who just arrived, Braden Montgomery, who just arrived today, who's gonna be projected long term in terms of being a center fielder and a right fielder, maybe potentially with 25 home run potential in his bat as a guy who can hit from both sides of the plate. You're not gonna have that without making a trade.
No, but we still end up having Austin Hayes. We still got Benintendi. We'll have Crochet starting at the 1. We still end up with Davis at the 2. I still think with Crochet we're a better team, but I will say this: Crochet
Definitely a
still on
better
the
rotation.
absolutely. Crochet on this team, but before this trade, before I started liking the players, there was a wider gap in wins. Crochet on this team, we still have more wins, but it's not as wide as a gap as I had it before because I didn't expect us to be over 500. So now that we're over 500, the gap is closing where I'm not like with Crochet on this team, we're at 39 wins, and without him, we're at 29. But now we're at 34 wins without him. So the gap is closing. I'm just not sold on the younger pieces because I don't like losing an all-star top 5 guy at his position for prospects. But that's just me because I don't like baseball trades. Baseball trades are always so lopsided. We'll give you a bag of Skittles, 3 prospects no one's ever heard of, and you give us Ohtani. Sure. What? Welcome to baseball MLB trades. They're so weird. Right now, it's the bottom of the 7th. Braves versus the Sox at the Sox. They're up 4-3. Colson Montgomery is out. So Braden Montgomery is, I guess, his replacement. See, he's even in the lineup spot at 6-7 where Colson would be. And we're only down 1 run against the best team in the league in the first game of this 3-game series. What are your thoughts on the game so far?
It's been competitive. Colson would normally hit higher up in the lineup than that. Usually he's, like 4th. And Braden Montgomery, I think, is, like you said, 6th or 7th. But Braden had a RBI single earlier in the night. I believe he's got 2 strikeouts on his box score right now. But in between those strikeouts, had that RBI single to drive in Jacob Gonzalez to score, to cut the lead down to that 4-3 lead that it's currently at right now. Atlanta came out the gate, put up 2 quick runs in the first inning. And home run, right away in that first inning, gave the Braves a 2-0 lead. Then he came right back in the second inning. They put on 2 more runs on it, and then it was 4-0 Atlanta. And you're thinking, damn, it might be one of those nights if the White Sox don't hurry up and lock back in. But that's exactly what they did. They locked back in. Miguel Vargas, 2-run bomb, cut the lead from 4-0 to 4-2 to bring the White Sox right back in it with the swing of a bat. Again, he's been doing that all season. right? So we got to give credit where credit is due. Miguel Vargas has come in and been consistent, right? I mean, with Murakami out, he's become, and when Murakami was in there, he was still one of your big bats. He's continued that on forward right now as and being one of the big major bats in his lineup, driving in runs with the home run ball. He did that again tonight. And then, like I mentioned, Braden with a real nice bit of hitting there. Jacob Gonzalez had got on earlier with a single. And then Braden Montgomery, who's hitting behind him, ended up with an RBI single to bring him home for his first hit of his career. And like I said, that cuts the lead from 4-2 to 4-3. And like you said, here they are in the bottom of the seventh, still at that score. So it's been a competitive game. They've had some really good competitive at bats. They had bases loaded at one point with that 4-3 deficit. I believe that was earlier in the fourth or fifth inning, excuse me, but just couldn't capitalize. I mean, there's one thing that I dislike in terms of Will Venable. At times, he bunts a little bit too much for my liking, which is the epitome of small ball. And I know you don't like small ball at all whatsoever, but Will Venable at times, for my liking, bunts a little bit too much. He did it in this game tonight, bunting a little bit too much in that inning. You're just sacrificing outs at that point. What do we need to do that for? You got the pitcher on the ropes. You're struggling. He's walking guys. He's hitting guys. You're getting to him. Get some good swings on that. Make him work for it. Make him put in some effort. Make him throw some consistent pitches out there. Don't just sacrifice outs via the bunt. But that didn't happen. The Sox missed some opportunities to take the lead right there. And here we are currently sitting right now, still down 4-3.
Bottom of 7, 0 out with the man on base, Vargas. One thing I do appreciate about Venable's offense, from what I see, he is big on just getting contact. And what I love about that is he will get these pitchers tired. Most pitchers come out at about anywhere from, I'd say, 70 to, they never make it to 100 these days, 70 to about
They don't.
95 pitches. We get so much contact on these pitchers. They have 90 pitches by like the fourth. So now they have to get. Oh, is that a double? Nope. Single, Benintendi, 2 people on base. But we get so much contact. We get these pitchers' arms tired. You will rarely see a game where an opposing pitcher comes, faces Chicago, and he gets like 10 Ks. It's just not going to happen. He's going to be tired.
Chris Sale pitching this series. You might see it.
We might, but we get these pitchers tired. By the time 90 pitches have came in, it's only the fourth. So now that's where the home runs start. We got them so tired, we're hitting home runs by the fifth because they're on their almost 100th pitch. Now they're going to be changed out for a guy that didn't expect to come in because a lot of these guys don't play the middle relievers by the fifth. They play the middle relievers by the sixth or the seventh. So we just, as long as we keep getting contact, this whole just get contact. I think that's Venable's strategy. Even if it's a foul ball, keep hitting the foul balls. Just get contact. Make those guys use as much energy as they can pitching. And I would say it is a good offensive strategy that's working. I don't even know what we rank in home runs anymore, but I guarantee you we rank in foul balls that have been hit out the park.
I still think the White Sox are top 10 in terms of home runs. They might be 7th or 8th right now. So people can correct me later on that, but I think they're still right there in terms of top teams in baseball as far as home runs concerned without Murakami. So again, credit to Vargas, credit to Colson, Montgomery, credit to all of those guys that are still, swinging the hot bat. You doing your best orange fascist impression right now?
What does Trump usually say? How hit? No.
You looking like you're a little tired over there.
No. I'm reading stats on my phone. I'm looking at the game. Oh, another one, another base hit. We tied it up. Let's go. I'm looking at my phone. My phone's low, so it looks.
Yeah. Play it off. Yeah.
Gonzalez singled right. Let's go. Contact.
Make it convincing. He's not. I've never seen Donald Trump asleep in the Oval Office. That's the energy that I need from you right now. I've never seen him sleep before in the Oval Office.
I'm not. I'm looking at my phone. I'm gonna put my phone high so I can look at it. Because I put my phone too low, and y'all think my eyes are closed. But yeah, no, it's no, I love the way our offense is going. Yeah, just the contact we're getting. Again, I don't think they keep track, but if they do, we absolutely lead in foul balls because we just get contact nonstop over and over and over again. So the whole bunting strategy, Maybe it's another contact strategy that we're trying to pull off. Whatever it is, maybe it's to get the pitcher off the mound. We're gonna bunt. If that pitcher's too hot, we bunt. We make him run off the mound, throw him off a little bit. Whatever it is, I am not questioning Venables like I did end of the year because he is surprising me like crazy. So I can't even hate the bunting strategy. What I do love is we got 2 people on base, bottom of the 7th, tied up and no outs. So
Yeah,
now here's
that's what's up.
where we're finna go crazy.
That's what's
The
up. We need this win. We need this win because this is the toughest stretch. I teased this previously on the show that I did before. This is the toughest stretch that the White Sox have faced this season. After this 3-game set, you got another 3-game set with the Dodgers. So you're facing the best team in baseball tonight for 3.
with the
Then the
Braves,
Dodgers come in, and you're facing the 3rd best team by record in the Dodgers when they get here for 3.
some would argue are actually the best team because Braves do not want to see the Dodgers right now.
Some could argue that the Braves probably have the better bullpen than the Dodgers. The Dodgers have the more feared lineup 1 through 9 than the Braves, and their starting
Facts.
pitching hasn't been as elite in the last couple of years this year. And then after you get through the Dodgers, then you got to go to New York and you got to play the Yankees. So this 9-game stretch,
I don't want to face the Yankees. It's
you're
not
playing
even their
some
hitting.
tough teams. Now the saving grace, you don't face Aaron Judge because he's injured.
Well, we don't know if he'll still be injured by the time we get to him.
No, he'll still be injured by the time we get to him. You're not facing Aaron Judge in that series. He's still going to be hurt.
But what about Stanton and Rice?
What about him? I mentioned Aaron Judge. I didn't say nothing about those other guys. You ain't got to worry about Aaron Judge. I didn't say nothing about them other guys. But tonight's game is still pending, right? Like you said, tied up right now. You got a chance to take the lead in this game in the bottom of the 7th.
They got a double play. We can't even do a sac fly. Damn it.
Okay.
A sac fly
that was
scored.
Who's at bat now, and there's still one out to play with, right?
No. They're done. Inning over. Top
That was
of the 8th
in the
now.
inning? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Riley
All right.
skiing wins. We missed that window.
Missed an opportunity right there again with runners in scoring position. So that's tough. But
that was on Montgomery.
Okay. Well, yeah.
He should have hit the sac fly. Instead, I don't know what he was going for, but that was just pop it up in the air. If they get it, they get it. We score, sac fly. Instead, it was too short, and it ended up being a double play. But again, he's a prospect.
He probably he's not a prospect. He's a first-year player at this point.
First-year rookie, whatever you want to call him.
He's a rookie. He's no longer a prospect. Once you reach the majors, you're no longer a prospect.
Rookie mistakes. Rookie mistakes is what he just made right there.
I mean, I didn't see the play, so I can't even say if it's a rookie mistake. He might just got beat on the pitch, and he might not have been able to hit it in the air. He might just got beat. But I'm predicting this White Sox win tonight.
Me too.
So Sox win tonight. You still got 2 more games. Do they win tomorrow? And do they win the next night?
That depends. Tomorrow we face Perez, who's a left-hander. Years past, I would have been worried about left-handers, but they also play a left-hander. We have K, who has a better record, and in my opinion, is a way better off-ball left-handed pitcher than Perez. So I think we take game 2. Game 3 is what worries me a bit, or is that game 2? Which game is that we face Perez? No, that might be game 3 we face Perez. Game 2 is Sale. Probably the most elite left-handed pitcher in the league right now. He probably has been for a while.
Which game does Davis Martin pitch?
He goes up against Sale. Martin versus Sale.
So
similar ERAs. Sale has a lower whip. Both have played exactly the same amount of innings. But I will say that Sale has given up a lot of hits last couple games. We have a real chance to win, but he doesn't give up home runs. Him nor Davis give up home runs. But when you give up 10 hits to the Sox, that's trouble. I think we have a good chance against Sale if he's giving up 10 hits.
Look, we're going to need Davis Martin to lock in tomorrow. That's the pitching matchup for tomorrow. Davis Martin got to lock in against Chris Sale. You need to have him pitch like an ace against Sale because Sale's going to try to pitch like an ace against us. So lock in and be ready, because if you do in fact win tonight, you have a chance to win this series. That will be huge because, again, the White Sox are a game and a half out of first place as we sit here talking right now behind Cleveland. So whatever you can do to stay within striking distance of Cleveland is great. Whatever you do to stack wins on your own schedule and win series is even better. So if you can win tonight and win tomorrow night as you're predicting, that'll be fantastic.
Man.
Coming into this series, I had the Sox, losing the series one out of three. So you got them winning 2 out of 3.
I think they're gonna win 2 out of 3.
You just said they win tonight. We both
They
agreed they
won
winning
tonight.
tonight,
They won tonight. They win
and you
against
said
Perez.
you got them winning against Chris Sale.
Well, I got one against Perez. I said we have a chance against Sale because
Okay,
him, and ironically Davis's last outings were bad. They both gave up a lot of hits, but we're at home, so Davis should make a comeback. But then Chris Sale's played here for so long, it probably feels like home as well. So that's the tricky part. But I think we definitely beat Perez. We win today. Sale game tomorrow is a 50-50 toss up. I just can't read it right now because we lost. We're so injured right now. Number one, but they also just lost Acuna today, so they're playing without Acuna. And in my opinion, they're a slightly different team when Acuna doesn't play. So as long as Montgomery isn't sitting out 2 games and Colston plays tomorrow, Vargas is going to play. Benintendi, he's proud. And my drop is probably starting because it's a left-hander. I think we got a good. Well, let's see what happens. We got a solid chance. I like games when we
I'm
start off
putting
a
you
series.
down as the White Sox winning the series against the Braves. That's what it sounds like you telling me. Sounds like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
damn near sound like you telling me they gonna sweep the Braves is what I almost heard you say.
I don't know if I want
But
to say that out
you
loud.
tried to backpedal it a little bit. Sox win the series. What happens
Sox,
against the Dodgers?
no idea, no idea, because Dodgers have hot bats right now. Dodgers pitching is very susceptible, but their bats are hot like the White Sox right now. But I'm not worried about Sasaki. I am worried about Burke versus the. I'm worried about our pitchers versus the Dodgers.
You should
I am
definitely be
not.
worried about our pitchers because our pitchers have given up an average of 6 runs a game over the last several games.
Yeah,
So it's not
Dodgers.
good for our pitchers right now.
I think Fetty has officially. I'm not going to say he's been demoted, but his fifth spot has officially became rotational. So Dodgers get to see a mystery pitcher at fifth. It starts with Fetty, but the very
Well, Fetty
next fifth
pitched today.
he's someone else. Did he?
Yeah, Fetty was pitching today, if I'm not
We had
mistaken.
I
But
thought we had
they
a
opened
left-hander.
they
Check.
opened the game with Icer. So what Will Venable has been doing with Eric Fetty is using an opener for him with like
Okay.
either an Icer or like a Hudson. Yeah, so he'll use those guys openers to try to let Fetty, ease his way into the game. Maybe come in and pitch the second or pitch the end of the first inning to kind of work his way into it.
It didn't work because he still gave up 6 hits, so it
Well,
didn't
I
work.
mean
But
that's part of the issue with Eric Fetty. I mean, you really
but
can't
but
rely upon him
But
like that.
Fetty can't be in the rotation. If Noah Schultz was here, Noah Schultz probably becomes the official fifth in the rotation until Shane Smith comes back. See how Shane Smith is. But that fifth, maybe even the fourth, is up for grabs. But right
I'm
now,
not sure when
Fetty's
Shane Smith will be back. I'm not sure. No idea when Drew Thorpe will be back. Not even checking for him.
at all.
Eric Eric Fetty, he's here just because they need a body. I mean, the White Sox need a body, and it's Eric Fetty at the moment.
The
Um,
streets need a body.
the
The
streets need a body.
streets need a body.
So, it is what it is. You should not trust the White Sox pitching. I've been harping on it, beating a dead horse at this point about how the White Sox pitching staff is not one that you can truly, truly trust like that. They're going to give up a lot of hits. They're going to give up some runs. And so the White Sox need to be prepared to score a lot on their own
Is
side of things.
Spider-Man outside? Sorry, Spider-Man is swinging.
Man, hey, man, you over there with a hot spot going up outside your crib.
Yeah. It's like, yo, that Spider-Man just swung across my window.
Straight up. You know what I'm saying? They,
But yeah,
the MCU filming outside the crib or is worse than that.
it is worse than that. But no, Dodgers see the fifth guy. Yamamoto is gonna see right now. Dodgers' current active worst pitcher is Shaheen, and they're or Sheehan, whatever. I think you pronounce Sheehan. They're kind of in our situation, but a better version of it. They still got Glass now, who's in my opinion elite. They still got Tiny, who is arguably the best pitcher in the league right now, while arguably being a top 5 hitter. He is not human. He has not given up a home run all season. His ERA is still under 1. He is disgustingly
And
good. It
some
doesn't
would
make any
argue
sense.
that Otani is having a down year by his standard.
But by his
Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second.
insane.
So with saying all of that, what do you predict happens against the Dodgers this week?
We will light them up. We'll light up Sheehan. I don't know if we'll win, but we'll put up a bunch of runs. I like giving us wins against in games. I think we'll put up a bunch of runs because when we get to 8 runs, that everyone's hot. Whether it's Caro, whether it's Myjoth, whether it's Montgomery. Hell, we could even bring Murakami off the DH with one arm, and all of a sudden he'll get hits. Games, I know that we'll get a bunch of hits. Sasaki, he still hasn't really developed like they thought he would. I think we're gonna get a bunch of runs on him. The only pitcher that I'm not sure we're gonna get a bunch of runs on is facing. Luckily, we don't get to see Otani, but there's one more. Sheehan, Sasaki. Oh, Yamamoto. Yamamoto, the one that killed in the World
MVP.
Series. I think we lose against him. But outside of that, we have a chance against Sasaki and Sheehan.
What I'm hearing you
I'm not.
say is that you got the White Sox winning 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. That's what I'm hearing you say.
Do I really got us beating Sasaki?
I'm
now?
just saying.
You
That's
know,
what
put me down for 2 out of 3.
I
Put me down for 2 out of 3.
bet.
Put me down for 2 out of 3.
That's what I heard you say. Don't back away from it now, because I'm pretty certain I heard you say you got the White Sox beating the Dodgers and taking 2 out of 3. I had the Sox losing 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers. That's what I had. So,
nope. Which pitchers do you have us losing to?
I mean, I didn't even look at the pitching lineup, quite frankly, because I just went into it knowing that our pitchers aren't going to go out there and outright stop the Dodgers from putting runs on the scoreboard. So every game gonna have to end up being 8-7, 9-8, 12-10 if you expect to win those games. That's a lot of.
I think
that's a lot of pressure to put on your offense.
Those are the games we thrive in. I think we'd like putting up 10 and 12.
No
but it's got to be a right.
No team wants to go out there and be required. It's not the NFL. No team wants to go out there and be required to have to score 8 runs a game to win every time you step out there on the field. That's tough to say.
Somehow we're pulling it off. Somehow.
I mean, we're 3 games above 500. So yes, you're pulling it off, sure, but not always, right? Because you just lost the last game you played prior to tonight, 9-5, because you couldn't get the outs that you needed to get after your offense gave you a lead. So we've seen that happen to this team over the last couple of weeks. And again, the biggest bat that you had in the lineup is no longer there in Murakami. You have to rely on everyone else to step up and step in and fill those shoes collectively. So can the Jacob Gonzalez's of the world that you just called up, can the Braden Montgomerys of the world that you just called up, alongside Colson Montgomery, Miguel Vargas, produce enough runs offensively to keep putting crooked numbers on the board? And you keep scoring 6, 7, 8 runs a game against teams that are upper echelon in your sport. That's a major question that needs to be answered. We don't yet have those answers to this point.
Healthy? Yes.
Because again, like I said, the White Sox pitching staff is giving up an average of 6 runs a game. Like their ERA, team ERA is like 6.23 or something like that over the last.
Which is like a month ago or 2 months ago, it was like one of the lowest in the league. And then all of a sudden,
you see how it turned. So you can score 6 runs a game, which the White Sox offense has been averaging lately. But if you're also giving up 6 runs a game, you run the risk of losing those games regardless. And that's what's happened over the last week and a half since Murakami has been out. You've given up on average about 6 runs a game. Now you've had games that you scored 8, 6, but that's a tough tale to have to go out there and score that many runs every single time. So I predict, that you're going to reach a stumbling block against the Dodgers, and you'll probably lose 2 out of 3 against that. Yankees, 3 games in New York, home of the NBA Finals right now. When the White Sox get to New York to play the Yankees, no Aaron Judge. Yankees are still the Yankees. Still got Garrett Cole. Still got a bunch of guys, a bunch of names that everybody knows. What happens against the New York Yankees?
Yankees, we only take 1 out of 3.
You said that with confidence, whereas the Dodgers and the Braves, who are better teams than the Yankees in terms of record and I believe in terms of overall talent, you said definitively we getting packed up against the Yankees.
I think right now we are addicted to slugfest. We smile when the other team's scoring because it's like, oh, we're going to have to score too. We're never going to get shut down 25-3 like that team in Iowa, Scrubs or whatever they called when they faced the Giants last week or something like that. But when other teams score, we score with them. And I think we just I know you said, I'm not saying it's easy to live up to, but I think there's some kind of sigh of relief when the Sox are like, hey, this game's not going to be a low scoring game. Let's just keep hitting and see what happens. But I don't see that versus Garrett Cole. We're going up against 3 straight left handers. Garrett Cole, then we get Rodon, and then I think we get Weathers. We can beat Weathers, but Garrett Cole and Rodon are going to be tough. Especially Rodon, who, even though it's not middle yet, close to middle, he's been getting in his stride. Cole came in on fire, so I don't know how we're gonna go up against those two. One's elite, one's really good, and the other's just getting into it his own. But he's still an annoying left-hander, which we do have some issues with away. Home, not so much. But I will say this: the Yankee Stadium is small, and Yankees are one of those teams that are also used to shootouts. But luckily, there won't be Judge. Hopefully, there won't be Stanton, and we'll just be going up against Jazz Chisholm, McMahon, Ben Rice, all those guys. So I say we take 1 out of 3 there.
So I actually had the White Sox 1 out of 3 against the Yankees as well. But it sounds like you got a 5-4 record for this 9-game trip, right? At least 2 out of 3 versus the Braves, at least 2 out of 3 versus the Dodgers, and then 1 out of 3 versus the Yankees. So that's a 5-4 trip if my math is correct. I pretty much got the same thing, just with, slightly different outcome in terms of, how we get there. But in my mind, in my opinion, if you go 5-4 in this trip with no Murakami, that's a W. You know what I'm saying?
Great.
That's a huge win. And that's not even, are you drinking a Capri Sun? Hey, yo.
That dude all smooth and slow. All right, maybe we'll
Hey,
keep talking. Don't.
hey,
No, you have to say it.
hold on. Hey, time out. Flag on the play. Flag. Yo,
Okay.
personal foul. Flagrant. Matter of fact, flagrant foul. Yo,
Is there an age too old to drink Capri Sun?
what Capri Sun you drinking though?
I don't know. Pacific Cooler, classic. Yeah.
Hey,
They changed the flavor. It don't taste like when we was kids.
no, it probably doesn't. Nothing tastes the same as it did when you was a kid, dog. I promise you that.
Sadly.
Man's is on here sipping the Capri Sun with a straw. Like you just got finished at recess or some shit. But anyway, yeah, if you go through this stretch against the Braves, the Dodgers, and the Yankees on this combined trip, home and away, and you go 5-4 during that stretch, look, man, that's a W, especially when this season began, thought that the White Sox would be a competitive baseball team in terms of having a winning record at this stage of the season, being in contention for your
Facts.
division, second place in your division right
Fact.
now. That's a
Facts.
huge W and a big win without a guy in Murakami who, while he may not be your best overall player, has been your best offensive player and run producer. So to hit this stretch of games and to be competitive and keep your head above water during that time, huge win for the White Sox. So if that happens, kudos and credit. What's the score of the game right now? We in the 8th or we still within the 9th now?
We're in the 9th. This is where we shine. We shine in the 9th. Top of the 9th, 1 out, but they do have 1 on base, and Matt Olson's up. He already hit 2 home runs this
Pitching.
game.
Please tell me it's Grant Taylor and not Sir Anthony.
Yep.
Okay. If it's Grant Taylor, we got a shot. If it's Sir Anthony,
We're done. Yeah, Grant Taylor's pitch. So he closes out these guys. Harris is on base. Harris has gotten on base every swing. He might be 4 for 4. Harris is on fire. No, he's 3 for 5. Yeah, we get past Olson here. We're good to go. And luckily, Acuna got injured. So that opened things up for us with Acuna getting injured.
okay. But yeah, you had a 5-4 trip. I think I had I have a 4-5 trip, excuse me. So, which still isn't bad. Still isn't bad. I mean, you lose the series against the Dodgers, in my opinion, win the series against the Braves, lose the series against the Yankees. That was my prediction coming into this stretch. I'm gonna stick with that. You take 2 out of 3 at home against the best team in baseball. That's a W. Can't nobody tell me otherwise. So, that's how I see it. That's how I'm gonna leave it. We're seeing a youth movement with the White Sox. We're seeing a sea change and shift in terms of position of players that are coming up and getting a chance to produce, which is positive and encouraging to see. And we'll see what happens going forward. How this team goes through this stretch is going to determine what happens in that next stretch of games. And if by the same time next week or the week after, we got to start talking whether or not the White Sox are going to be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline.
Okay, I'm always in buy. I pause. I always want my White Sox to be buyers at the deadline.
Oh, I thought you said you're always willing to buy.
The same thing.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Uh,
that was
all the
I also said
all the all the young ladies. My main man, Harry, is always willing to buy, you know. Against Charlton.
It ain't tricking if you got it.
Hey, man.
It ain't trick.
My man's don't work all these jobs for nothing, damn it.
Come on, ladies. I trick and I do hair. Come on.
Man, straight up. He gonna paint your toenails too.
And maybe do something else to him.
All right.
Let's go.
Hey, on that note, it's time to send the people home happy.
All right, yeah, Tijuana changed me. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching an amazing episode of White Sox and BS. We appreciate you and good night.
Peace.
And
appreciate you tapping into this latest episode from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Don't matter if you was watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Apple. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with everybody on the block, and hit the notification bell so you never miss none of our daily drops. And to all the guys from the shy, we say 3 things. Bear down, fly the W, and sell the team, Jerry.